Chosen one. Heaven interrupts your scrolling right now. This is not coincidence, this is divine orchestration. Everything around you begins to blur. The noise fades, and for a sacred moment, time itself bends. The Spirit of God has paused this very instant because there is something you must hear. The battle in your mind has been loud, the chaos relentless, and the silence heavy. But now, the Lord whispers to your spirit, peace is coming to your thoughts. You have carried much more than others could see. Every sleepless night where your heart raced with unseen fear. Every morning when your strength felt like smoke, heaven saw it all. You have asked, God, when will my mind rest? And heaven's reply is simple, when you stop fighting alone. The reason your inner war has been so fierce is because your mind is sacred ground. The enemy does not chase the ordinary, he attacks what is anointed. Your thoughts hold the blueprint of your calling, and hell knows it. That is why anxiety has hunted you, because you are destined to carry divine peace into chaotic places. Listen closely. Every fearful thought that said you're failing, every whisper that said you're not enough, every dark idea that told you to give up, it all breaks here. This is a turning point. Heaven declares that you are chosen not only to survive the storm, but to command it. In the stillness of this moment, breathe. The weight you've carried begins to shift, doesn't it? That's because heaven moves when you finally stop striving. You've been so used to fighting your thoughts that you forgot. Peace is not earned, it's received. God is not demanding your perfection. He is inviting your surrender. The Spirit says, you don't have to hold everything together. I already am. The ancient words recorded in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, speak directly into your moment. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. That is your identity. You are not fragile, you are powerful. You are not drowning, you are being refined. Fear was never part of your divine design, peace was. The sound mind mentioned in that verse is not just mental calm, it is divine order. It means your thoughts are being rewired to think heaven's way. It means clarity is returning where confusion used to live. Chosen one. God is not asking you to fix yourself. He is asking you to surrender your mind so He can heal it. You cannot silence anxiety with effort, only presence can do that. The moment you invite the Holy Spirit into your inner chaos, peace begins to rebuild the ruins. So, release the need to understand every outcome. Let go of trying to predict what's next. You are not meant to carry the weight of knowing, only the weight of trusting. Heaven has been waiting for your yes to this, Lord. Renew my mind. As you speak it, something begins to happen. Invisible chains break. The air in the room shifts. That's not imagination, that's deliverance. Heaven is responding to your surrender. Beloved, you have not been forgotten. Every tear, every trembling prayer in the dark, none of it was wasted. It was all evidence of your fight to hold on when it would have been easier to give up. You have been misunderstood. Yes, but not overlooked. God has been preparing your spirit in the shadows for a public peace that will testify of His power. So here is your divine call. Take authority over your mind. When worry rises, don't argue with it. Replace it. Declare, my mind belongs to God. Every declaration you make becomes a sword that cuts anxiety down. You are not the victim of your thoughts. You are the gatekeeper of your peace. Even now, heaven is forming a shield around you. You may not feel it yet, but angels are guarding the very atmosphere of your thoughts. God is not distant, He is within, whispering through the quiet, "Be still and remember who you are." Chosen one, if this message reaches you, it's because heaven ordained this meeting. You are not reading by chance. You are being reminded of your true nature. You are a vessel of calm in a world addicted to chaos. You are the voice that tells storms to rest. Now act on what you've heard. If this resonates in your spirit, comment the number 777 below a prophetic sign of divine completion and spiritual awakening. Like, share, and subscribe not for numbers, but to stay connected to the flow of divine words that will continue shaping your peace. Lift your hands if you can. Whisper softly, "Lord, take my thoughts and make them new." As you speak it, the atmosphere changes. The storm quiets. The battle that once ruled you begins to submit to the one who rules all. Your peace starts now. The war within you has never been about what people see. It's not the external struggles that have exhausted you most. It's the silent storms that rage behind your calm expression. You have smiled while your mind trembled, spoken faith while your thoughts screamed fear. You've gone through days that looked ordinary to others but felt like battlegrounds to your soul. This is the unseen war, the invisible conflict between light and darkness, fought not in physical realms but within the delicate sanctuary of your mind. Every thought is a soldier. Every idea, every whisper, every doubt, it all fights for dominion. Some thoughts are sent by heaven to strengthen you. Others are crafted by darkness to weaken your resolve. And you, chosen one, have been standing in the middle of that war, wondering why peace feels like a stranger when you love God so deeply. But now the truth comes. Your inner struggle is not proof of weakness, it's evidence of calling. The greater your assignment, the louder the attack against your peace. The enemy rarely wastes his weapons on those with no destiny. He comes after the ones carrying divine influence, those whose voices echo beyond their own generation. You are one of them. That's why the battle in your mind has been relentless. You are not losing your mind. You are defending sacred territory. Sometimes the attack begins subtly through distraction, comparison, overthinking, or the quiet voice that tells you you're not enough. It whispers, "Look how far others are. Look how little progress you've made." And suddenly, your focus shifts from divine purpose to self-measurement. The more you compare, the more you lose clarity. That's not coincidence, that's strategy. The enemy cannot steal your salvation, but he will fight to steal your soundness. You must understand something. Spiritual warfare begins in the thought realm. Before fear controls your life, it first wins in your imagination. Before anxiety fills your heart, it first whispers into your reasoning. That is why you cannot let your mind wander without watchfulness. You must stand guard at the gate of thought, like a warrior king defending the borders of his kingdom. When the prophet Daniel prayed, the answer was sent from heaven instantly, but darkness resisted it in the spiritual realm. Likewise, when you pray for peace, God sends it. But opposition tries to delay its arrival in your emotions. That delay is where most give up. But not you. You are learning to stand, even in the silence, knowing heaven is working while your senses see nothing. Do not mistake delay for denial. God's silence is never abandonment, it's preparation. Sometimes He allows the battle in your mind to expose where your trust still depends on what you can control. And when he reveals that, it's not punishment, it's purification. You have said, "Why can't I just stop worrying?" But worry cannot be defeated by willpower alone. It is displaced only by truth. Truth renews the mind. And peace follows truth, like a shadow follows light. This is why the Word of God must not only be read but lived. It must become the filter of every thought. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness above." These words are not ancient history, they are revelation. The battle you feel in your head is the echo of that spiritual wrestling. But you are not weaponless. God has already placed inside you everything you need to win. Peace is not the absence of battle, it's the authority to remain calm in its midst. When thoughts of fear rise, answer them with faith. When anxiety speaks, let Scripture respond. When confusion tries to enter, invite worship to guard the gate. You are not meant to suppress your mind, you are meant to sanctify it. You take every thought captive, not by force, but by focus. Chosen one, heaven knows your fatigue. You've prayed for clarity but woke up to chaos. You've asked for quiet, yet your thoughts grew louder. But even in this, God is shaping you. You are learning the art of internal warfare, the discipline of holding peace while the wind howls. Every victory in the unseen realm prepares you for influence in the visible one. Do not despise the process. The shaking you feel is not destruction, it's construction. The Lord is rebuilding your inner foundation, replacing fragile logic with unshakable faith. He is teaching you to discern which thoughts are yours and which are whispers of the enemy. Remember, not every thought that enters your mind deserves your attention. Some ideas arrive only to test whether you've learned silence. When you stop reacting to every fear, you starve the enemy of his favorite weapon, your response. There will come a day when you'll look back and realize the war that once terrified you actually trained you. It taught you endurance. It taught you how to hear God in the middle of noise. It taught you how to anchor your peace when the world tried to pull it apart. You are not just fighting for your own sanity, you are breaking generational patterns. Others before you surrendered to the same mental storms. But you are ending that cycle. The victory in your mind today will echo into your bloodline tomorrow. There is a reason your thoughts often sound louder than your prayers. The enemy has learned that if he can make a lie sound reasonable, he can keep you bound without chains. He does not always attack with disaster, sometimes he attacks with logic. His whispers come clothed in reason, carefully disguised as your own inner voice. He says, "You're just being realistic," when in truth, he's sowing doubt. He says, "You're only preparing for the worst," when in fact, he's teaching you to expect it. Lies that masquerade as logic are the most dangerous kind. They sound intelligent, but they are infected with fear. They pretend to protect you from disappointment, yet they disconnect you from faith. You've been tricked into believing that worry is wisdom, that panic is preparation. But heaven is revealing this to you now. Not every reasonable thought is righteous, and not every anxious plan is wise. Fear always presents itself as something practical. It makes you rehearse worst-case scenarios so that when peace knocks, you mistake it for naivety. But peace is not ignorance, it is divine intelligence. It sees beyond your current chaos, into God's eternal control. The Spirit of God speaks today. Stop making a home for lies that sound safe. Because safety outside of God is not safety at all. It is a slow surrender of your divine boldness. You have been given the mind of Christ. Yet the enemy keeps trying to convince you that your mind is a prison. That is the lie that ends here. Every anxious reasoning that tells you you're running out of time, rebuke it. Every inner argument that says you'll fail before you even begin, dismiss it. These are not divine insights, they are distractions. Heaven is inviting you back to trust, where the impossible looks possible again. We are reminded through the words of Jesus recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 32. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Truth is not an idea, it's a person. Every time you choose truth, you align your mind with the presence of Christ Himself. When you begin to think His thoughts, peace becomes your natural state. This is why the enemy tries to pollute your reasoning. He cannot remove your anointing, so he tries to distort your perception of it. He says, if you were truly chosen, you wouldn't struggle like this. But listen carefully. Chosen one, the fact that you're being attacked proves your purpose. The enemy only invests resources where heaven has invested destiny. You are not under siege because you're weak. You're under siege because you're powerful. And yet, you must choose what voice you will amplify. Heaven speaks softly, but its power is absolute. Hell shouts loudly, but its voice is empty. The one you feed will rule your thoughts. When you give your attention to the lie, you give it authority. When you meditate on the truth, you build a fortress of peace around your mind. You have the right to reject intrusive thoughts. You have the divine authority to say, this does not belong to me. The enemy may knock, but you don't have to open the door. You are not obligated to entertain fear. You are not required to agree with hopelessness. The same power that raised Jesus from the grave resides in you. It is more than enough to silence every deceptive voice. Chosen one, this is the hour to reclaim your discernment. Do not believe every thought that enters your mind. Test it by the word. If it does not carry peace, it does not carry God. If it produces fear, it is not faith. Sometimes, the most spiritual thing you can do is say no to the noise. When your mind begins to spin with endless reasoning, stop and speak out loud, God is still in control. Say it until your thoughts bow to truth. You are not a slave to your imagination, you are a steward of revelation. You are learning to think from victory, not toward it. You are not fighting to become free, you are fighting to remember that you already are. The cross settled it, the resurrection confirmed it. The only power the enemy has left is the one you give him through agreement. Break that agreement now, and when this message reaches your spirit, make your stand public in a simple prophetic act. Comment, I hear you. Those 3 words are not for the algorithm. They are your declaration that you recognize heaven's voice above every other. When you write it, you're not typing to a screen, you're stamping your faith into the atmosphere, letting every lying thought know, I hear truth, and I will follow it. Chosen one, the battle in your mind is shifting. You are beginning to discern what belongs to you and what never did. Lies are losing their camouflage. Fear is losing its disguise. Peace is becoming familiar again. The more you embrace truth, the quieter the storm becomes. The more you speak what God has spoken, the more heaven's clarity fills the spaces once ruled by confusion. You will soon wake up and realize what used to drain you now strengthens you, because you finally know the difference between logic and lies. Every time your peace begins to fade, it is not random. There is a sound of interference in the spirit, a subtle distortion that seeks to detune your heart from heaven's frequency. You know the feeling, moments of calm suddenly disrupted by anxiety that has no cause, by heaviness that feels like fog pressing on your chest. It happens right after prayer, right after clarity, right after you tell yourself, "I'm finally okay." That is not coincidence. That is spiritual interference. Darkness cannot create, it can only distort. The enemy cannot destroy what God has built within you. So he tries to interrupt the signal between your mind and heaven. He inserts static into your thoughts, hoping to make you question what you heard from God. He whispers, "Maybe that wasn't God's voice. Maybe you imagined it." And if you start agreeing with that doubt, the interference becomes stronger. You've noticed it, haven't you? When you start to feel peace, something tries to pull you into overthinking. When you receive a promise, immediately a situation arises that challenges it. When you begin to trust, suddenly you feel alone. The pattern is not accidental, it is targeted. But now, revelation has come. Heaven is showing you how to recognize and overcome this interference. The first tactic of spiritual distortion is distraction. The enemy floods your attention with noise, so you cannot stay tuned to divine direction. You'll find yourself obsessing over details that don't matter, replaying past conversations, worrying about outcomes beyond your control. Each moment you dwell there, your focus drifts from the frequency of peace to the chaos of fear. The second tactic is confusion. You begin to doubt your discernment. You wonder if you've been misled, if you've prayed wrong, if you've somehow stepped out of alignment. That's what confusion does. It paralyzes progress by making you second-guess revelation. But confusion is not from God, it's evidence that clarity is near. The third tactic is emotional amplification. Your feelings become louder than your faith. Suddenly, what you feel seems more real than what God said. That's how interference works. It magnifies emotion to drown out instruction. Chosen one, you must learn to quiet the interference, not by arguing with it, but by tuning higher. Peace operates on a frequency that chaos cannot reach. That's why worship shifts atmospheres, because it lifts you above the noise. The moment you begin to praise, your spirit tunes back to heaven's wavelength. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 27, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." There it is, the proof that you are not lost in the noise. You are known. You are recognized by the one who speaks peace. His voice doesn't compete with others. It simply waits until you quiet down enough to notice, to hear him clearly. You must choose silence over stimulation. The more you fill your space with constant noise, scrolling, worrying, replaying, the harder it is to discern his whisper. Silence isn't emptiness, it's alignment. It's where your spirit and heaven breathe in rhythm again. Sometimes God allows the interference to test your focus, not because he wants you to fail, but because he wants you to learn to distinguish the frequencies of fear and faith. The more you practice this, the stronger your discernment becomes. You begin to recognize when the static rises and refuse to dance to its rhythm. Peace is not the absence of sound, it is the mastery of hearing the right one. It's the ability to recognize, even in chaos, the tone of the one who calms storms. And when you can do that, no interference can control you anymore. So, when the noise comes, and it will, don't panic. Don't chase silence. Cultivate awareness. Say within yourself, "That is not my shepherd's voice." And immediately, the interference begins to lose its hold. You will notice the anxiety fading, the heaviness lifting, the confusion breaking. That's not random, that's divine authority in action. Chosen one. Heaven is teaching you to master the spiritual airwaves. The same way a musician learns to stay in tune despite surrounding noise. You are learning to keep your inner melody intact. Your soul will no longer be pulled by every emotional vibration. You will walk in peace so steady that even storms will take orders from your calm. Do not fear the interference. It only means you're transmitting light clearly enough to be noticed. The greater the static, the greater your signal. Stay tuned. Keep listening. Heaven's frequency is unwavering, and it's calling your name. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when heaven calls for alignment, not through thunder, but through invitation. It is not a command shouted from the clouds, but a whisper that says, "Come back into rhythm with me." You've been trying to carry peace while running on your own pace, but divine peace moves to heaven's rhythm, not human speed. Think of it like a symphony. Each instrument represents a part of your life, your thoughts, your emotions, your responsibilities, your faith. When you try to play them all without following the conductor's cue, the sound becomes chaotic. But when you pause, lift your eyes, and follow his timing, suddenly the noise becomes music. Heaven doesn't remove your instruments, it simply retunes them. God is calling you to alignment, not because you are lost, but because he is ready to upgrade your focus. He is fine-tuning you to hear what others miss. You may have noticed that lately, certain things no longer bring peace. Conversations feel draining. Habits that once comforted now feel heavy. That's not random. That's God disconnecting you from interference. You're being realigned to what truly feeds your spirit. There's a moment in every believer's life when heaven says, "Enough running. Come, sit with me again." That moment is now. Stop measuring your worth by your performance. Stop exhausting yourself trying to prove your faith through motion. God is not impressed by how busy you are for him. He is drawn by how still you become with him. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the book of Proverbs. Chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. This is not just a verse, it's a divine posture. Trust is surrender in action. When you lean on your own understanding, you exhaust yourself trying to control what was never yours to manage. But when you lean into God, peace replaces pressure, and clarity begins to flow. Imagine your life as a river. The more you try to dam it up with worry, the more resistance builds. But when you release control, the water flows smoothly again. That flow is alignment, life moving in the direction God always intended. And here's the truth. Beloved, alignment isn't about perfection. It's about positioning. God doesn't need you to have every answer. He needs you to stay open to his guidance. He's not looking for flawless performance. He's seeking surrendered partnership. When you realign, blessings begin to locate you without you chasing them. Peace starts finding you instead of you searching for it. Opportunities begin to recognize your voice because your frequency finally matches heaven's intention. You may have been walking through a season that felt like pruning, relationships shifting, plans changing, doors closing. But pruning is never punishment, it's preparation. God cuts away what cannot sustain your next season so that what remains can bear fruit without breaking. Chosen one, this is where you step into maturity. You stop begging God to change your situation and start allowing Him to change your position within it. You stop asking for fewer battles and begin learning how to fight from peace. As you read this, your spirit may feel that tug, the quiet awareness that says, "Yes, this is for me." That tug is the Holy Spirit calling you back to alignment. And I invite you, if this message resonates, let it not just pass through your mind, but plant itself in your heart. Take a moment, wherever you are, breathe in deeply. Feel the weight of your striving melt away. Whisper, "Lord, I trust your rhythm." Let that be your offering, the surrender that costs your control but buys you peace. If these words have found you, it's not by accident. They are a river flowing from heaven through this channel. Every video, every word here is a drop of that same living water. If this message has touched you, if it has reminded you of who you truly are, then stay connected to the stream. Like this message, not for attention, but as an act of agreement with truth. Share it not for numbers, but because someone else needs the same water you've just tasted. Subscribe not for routine, but to remain close to the flow of divine encouragement that will keep realigning your heart. And if you feel led to go further, to sow into the very stream that refreshes your soul, consider giving, not as a transaction, but as a continuation. Every seed you plant keeps this voice reaching the weary, the anxious, the ones who no longer believe peace is possible. You become part of that divine echo, carrying calm where chaos once lived. You are not supporting content, you are fueling calling. Every offering becomes another instrument tuned for heaven's purpose. Every act of generosity becomes another ripple of peace reaching beyond your sight. So as you close your eyes tonight, remember this: you don't need to control the tempo of your life. You only need to trust the conductor. He knows when to slow you down, when to lift the volume, when to rest the notes. You are part of a divine symphony, and every beat of your surrender brings heaven closer to earth. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. Because alignment always begins in the heart that says, "Yes, Lord, tune me again." There comes a sacred moment in the journey of every chosen one when words no longer work and only prayer can reach where reasoning cannot. You've tried to think your way out of anxiety, to organize your mind like a battlefield map, but peace doesn't come from control. It comes from communion. The mind cannot heal itself by logic alone. It must surrender to something greater than thought. Right now, heaven invites you to pray not as repetition, but as reclamation. This prayer is not about asking for things. It's about commanding stillness to return. It is the kind of prayer that dismantles chaos, that reclaims what worry has stolen, that declares, "My mind belongs to God again." Before you speak, pause. Feel your heartbeat. It has survived every storm that fear predicted would end you. That heartbeat is proof of grace, proof that God's mercy still covers you. You are alive not by coincidence, but by covenant. Heaven is not finished with you yet. Beloved, the battle in your mind has not gone unnoticed. The sleepless nights, the spirals of overthinking, the invisible exhaustion heaven has seen every moment. But this prayer, this moment, will mark the beginning of your shift. It's not about shouting louder than your anxiety, it's about whispering truth until your thoughts bow. Close your eyes, chosen one, and let these words rise from your spirit, Father. I come before you, not with perfection, but with surrender. My thoughts have been loud, my fears persistent, and my peace fragile, but I lay them before you now. I give you the noise, the doubts, the panic that tries to define me. Replace them with your voice, your stillness, your truth. Teach me to hear you louder than fear. Teach me to rest. Even when I cannot see the outcome, I receive your peace, not the temporary calm of the world, but the eternal peace that only you can give. Let your presence fill every corner of my mind. Let your word anchor my thoughts. I decree my mind is yours, my heart is yours, and my peace is secure in you. Amen. As you pray that, heaven begins to respond. You may not feel a dramatic change, but peace moves quietly, like dawn chasing away the dark. Slowly, your spirit begins to breathe again. Slowly, your inner world starts to realign. Prayer is not just communication, it's calibration. Each word brings your spirit back into harmony with divine frequency. When you pray, you are not talking into emptiness, you are releasing divine authority into your atmosphere. Heaven listens, darkness trembles. There is something powerful about prayer that doesn't seek to escape the storm, but rather commands it to still. You are not running from the battle anymore. You are standing in it with divine authority. You no longer say, God, take the storm away, but God, teach me to sleep through it. That's maturity. That's transformation. The prophet Mark recorded the moment when Jesus himself demonstrated this authority. We read in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verse 39, "Then he arose and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, 'Peace, be still.' And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm." That same voice that calmed the sea is speaking through you now. The storm outside you might still move, but the one within you is bowing. You are beginning to realize that the peace of Christ isn't fragile, it's fierce. It's the kind of peace that intimidates chaos, that silences every demonic whisper that once made your heart tremble. Do you see it? Chosen one, the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives within you. That means you don't pray from weakness, you pray from authority. You don't beg heaven for peace, you release it. You don't plead with fear, you command it to leave. Every time you pray, the atmosphere shifts. Your room becomes an altar. Your breath becomes a song. Angels align themselves with your declaration. And where there once was confusion, clarity begins to dwell. You are learning that prayer is not a last resort. It's a weapon. It's the language of power spoken softly. It doesn't shout to impress, it whispers to command. So when your thoughts start spinning, don't try to outthink them. Pray. When your chest feels heavy and your breath shortens, don't fight the panic, speak peace. When you feel alone, remember that every whispered prayer is a signal to heaven, I still trust you. The more you pray, the less space fear finds to breathe. The more you declare peace, the more it becomes your default setting. You will soon notice that what used to overwhelm you now barely stirs you, because peace has become your reflex. And right now, if this word has reached the deep places of your spirit, seal it with a prophetic act. Comment the number 444 below, a sign of divine stability, heavenly order, and spiritual grounding. When you write that number, you are declaring, "My mind is under divine order. My peace is established. My faith stands firm." Heaven records such moments, the times when faith is not shouted but typed in quiet agreement. It may look like a small act, but in the unseen realm, it is a signature of surrender. Chosen one. You are not just praying words into air, you are reprogramming your atmosphere. You are shifting from chaos to calm, from confusion to clarity, from fear to faith. Prayer is not the end of your effort, it is the beginning of your mastery. Faith is not fragile, and yet it has often felt that way to you, delicate, easily shaken by the winds of worry, as though it could crack under the weight of uncertainty. But the truth, chosen one, is that faith was never meant to be fragile. It was meant to be forged. Faith is a weapon, not a wish. It was never designed to comfort the comfortable. It was designed to anchor the anxious. When fear rises like a tide, faith responds like fire. It does not retreat, it consumes. And if lately your peace has been under attack, it is because your faith is awakening to its true nature. You are learning that faith does not exist to prevent storms, but to stand in the middle of them. You are being trained not to avoid warfare, but to win within it. There are moments when faith doesn't roar, it simply refuses to retreat. It stays. It waits. It believes. Sometimes the greatest act of warfare is simply not walking away. And that is what you have done. Even without realizing it, you have stayed. You have believed. Even when belief hurt. Heaven has been watching that endurance. Because endurance is the mark of those who have matured beyond emotion. When faith becomes your foundation, feelings no longer decide your direction. Fear may shout, but it no longer steers. Anxiety may visit, but it no longer rules. That is what faith looks like in motion, not perfection, but perseverance. Think of it like a sword. The more it is used, the sharper it becomes. Faith grows in resistance. Every trial you've faced, every delay, every disappointment, it wasn't meant to destroy your belief, but to deepen it. God was not punishing you, He was strengthening your weapon. We are reminded through the writings of the Apostle Paul in the second letter to the Corinthians. Chapter 5, verse 7, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." Those words are simple, yet they cut through confusion like light through fog. To walk by faith means to move forward even when the path looks invisible. It means trusting that your next step will appear the moment your foot lifts. That is divine rhythm movement without visible proof. Sight demands evidence, faith demands obedience. Sight waits to see, faith moves and then sees. And that is what you are being trained in right now, the courage to move, even when clarity hasn't arrived. Faith is not denial, it is declaration. It doesn't pretend the storm isn't real, it proclaims that the storm is temporary. Faith doesn't ignore pain, it gives pain purpose. When you begin to live that way, worry loses its influence, because your spirit begins to interpret reality differently. The reason anxiety once ruled you is because your mind believed what your eyes saw more than what your heart knew. But now, as faith takes over, perception is shifting. You begin to discern that the visible world is not final, it's only a reflection of the invisible one. Faith teaches you to interpret silence as setup, not absence. You will soon realize that faith is the language of heaven. Every miracle ever recorded began with a voice saying, "I believe." Every deliverance began when someone stopped calculating the risk and simply obeyed. And that is what is happening within you. Faith is fighting back. It is pushing out fear, molecule by molecule, replacing panic with peace, replacing reasoning with revelation. You are no longer the same person who trembled at uncertainty. You are becoming the one who speaks to it. When faith matures, it becomes calm. It no longer needs constant proof to trust. It no longer asks, "How will this work?" It simply says, "If he said it, that's enough." And in that simplicity lies supernatural power. Chosen one, the battle in your mind is shifting again. You are stepping into a season where faith will no longer be an effort, it will become instinct. Peace will not need to be chased, it will live naturally within you. Every prayer you've prayed, every tear you've released, every breath you've taken in the middle of panic, it has all been shaping this moment. You are the evidence that faith still works. You are the living testimony that belief can outlast fear. The world may never see the warfare you fight within, but heaven calls you victorious already. Because you are no longer reacting, you are reigning. You are walking by faith, not by sight. And that is the sound of victory echoing through eternity. There is a kind of strength that doesn't roar. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. And it doesn't prove itself. It is the kind of strength that sits quietly in the middle of a storm and says, "God is still in control." That is what heaven calls the anointing of stillness, the supernatural ability to remain calm when everything around you is shaking. Stillness is not the absence of activity, it is the presence of divine focus. It is the moment when your soul stops wrestling and begins to rest. For too long, you've mistaken rest for weakness. You've believed that slowing down meant losing momentum, that pausing meant falling behind. But heaven is revealing a mystery. Stillness is strategy. When you are still, heaven fights for you. Your human nature wants to fix, to move, to plan. You think that if you stop striving, everything will collapse. But the truth is, you have carried things that were never yours to carry. You have tried to control what only faith can sustain. And so, God is teaching you now, not through more motion, but through sacred silence. You've prayed, "Lord, speak to me," yet you've been afraid of quiet. Because in the quiet, there is no distraction to hide behind, only reflection. But that is exactly where revelation begins. Stillness exposes what noise conceals. It shows you what truly lives within your heart. Heaven's training ground is not always the battlefield. Sometimes it's the pause between battles. The Lord has placed you in a season where He is teaching you to trust His timing. The doors you thought were delays are actually divine intervals. When God slows you down, it's not to punish you, it's to prepare you. Think of an archer pulling back the bowstring. The further he pulls, the more tension builds, not to stop the arrow, but to give it power. That's what God is doing in you. The tension you feel is preparation for release. The waiting is not wasted, it's gathering momentum. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing only what God says. It is divine restraint, the discipline of peace in a world addicted to noise. The enemy knows if he can't destroy your faith, he'll try to exhaust it. He'll make you chase clarity until you collapse. But God says, "Sit down. Let me speak." In those moments of divine pause, something beautiful happens. The chaos inside begins to mirror heaven's calm. The same spirit that hovered over the waters before creation hovers over your thoughts, bringing order to what felt empty. You stop forcing outcomes and start flowing in alignment. The prophet Isaiah revealed this secret of strength when he wrote in the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15, "In returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength." These words carry timeless truth. Salvation begins in returning, not running. Strength is found in quietness, not in control. The more you rest in Him, the more powerful you become. The world teaches you to prove your worth through hustle. Heaven teaches you to reveal your worth through peace. When you finally stop striving, you begin to hear God clearly again. His voice is not distant, it has simply been drowned out by overthinking. He speaks in frequencies that only rest can detect. And once you hear Him, everything else begins to lose its power over you. Stillness doesn't mean the absence of warfare. It means warfare that no longer controls your reactions. You can stand in the storm and smile because your heart knows who commands the winds. You can hear chaos and yet remain composed, because your confidence is not built on circumstance but on covenant. The anointing of stillness is not natural, it's supernatural. It is born when your spirit finally surrenders its need to manage everything. It is what allows you to walk through fires without being burned, to sit in darkness yet remain lit from within. Even Jesus modeled this kind of rest. When the storm raged and the boat trembled, He slept, not because He didn't care, but because He knew who He was. That's the kind of peace heaven is training you for, the ability to rest, not because there is no storm, but because you know the storm cannot win. Chosen one, your silence is not empty, it is sacred. It is the language of trust, the sound of faith maturing. You are learning that peace is not a feeling you chase, but a posture you choose. You are beginning to understand that stillness is not the absence of movement, but the mastery of direction. And soon, you will find that when the world demands a reaction, you'll give them stillness instead. When fear shouts, you'll answer with quiet confidence. When doubt tries to rush you, you'll respond with peace that confuses the enemy. Because the more still you become, the more heaven can move through you. You are not behind. You are being refined. You are not stuck. You are being steadied. The calm you are learning now will be the foundation for every miracle that follows. So do not despise the still season. It is the womb of your next breakthrough. Stay in that silence a little longer. Let your heart synchronize with heaven's rhythm. Soon, when the time is right, the same God who held you still will send you forth, and you will move with clarity that only comes from holy rest. You have wondered lately if something is wrong with you. The racing thoughts, the waves of emotion, the invisible weight pressing on your chest, it all makes you question your stability. You've whispered to yourself, "Am I losing my mind?" But hear this. Beloved, you are not losing your mind, you are awakening it. The warfare you feel is not insanity, it is initiation. The enemy has been trying to convince you that your sensitivity is a curse, that your mind is fragile, that peace will always stay just out of reach. But heaven says otherwise. What you call weakness, God calls awareness. You are spiritually sensitive. tuned to frequencies most people ignore. You perceive battles others cannot see, which is why your warfare has been more intense. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. Your thoughts are not betraying you, they are being purified. The chaos you feel inside is the sound of old patterns collapsing, the echo of chains that once defined your mental landscape falling off. Heaven is not punishing you with overthinking, it is teaching you to hear what lies beneath your thoughts. There is purpose even in the struggle. God has been training you to discern between His voice and the enemy's distortion. You're not weak for wrestling, you're wise for staying in the fight. Even Jesus endured the temptation of mental warfare in the wilderness. The whispers that told him to doubt his identity are the same whispers that attack you now. But just as he answered every lie with truth, so will you. As the Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 2, verse 5, "Let this mind be in you, the same that was also in Christ Jesus." These are not just poetic words, they are a divine transfer. You are not meant to survive with a fragile mind. You are meant to live with the mind of Christ. That means calm under pressure. That means confidence in confusion. That means clarity even when the path ahead is uncertain. The battle in your head is not proof of distance from God, it is proof of His nearness. Only those chosen for greater assignments experience such intense refinement. You are not being punished, you are being perfected. Every anxious thought that once tormented you will soon bow to the authority of peace that is rising within. You will notice it happening gradually. The triggers that once controlled you will lose their grip. The memories that once haunted you will fade in power. Your reactions will soften. Your discernment will sharpen. And, suddenly, what used to shake you no longer will. That's not numbness, that's mastery. Heaven has been teaching you emotional authority. One storm at a time. Chosen one. You will learn to live in such stillness that even your thoughts obey. You will become a resting place for divine wisdom. A carrier of peace in a restless world. Your calm will be contagious. Your silence will speak louder than sermons. Your presence will bring alignment wherever you go. So, don't hide from the warfare in your mind. Study it. It is teaching you the anatomy of your anointing. Every mental battle you've survived has increased your capacity to empathize, to pray, to discern. You are being molded into a healer, not through ease, but through understanding. The pain you have endured has prepared you to recognize pain in others without judgment. The panic that once imprisoned you will soon become the key you use to unlock others' chains. You are being transformed into an atmosphere changer, one who walks into rooms and shifts the unseen temperature of hearts and minds. And right now, if these words stir something deep inside you, take a moment to affirm your awakening. Comment, "I am ready." Let those 3 words be your declaration that you are no longer defined by fear, but refined by faith. When you write them, it is not for visibility, it is for agreement, a signal to heaven that you understand your calling. You are not broken, you are chosen. You are not unstable, you are being strengthened. You are not losing control, you are learning surrender. The mind that once betrayed you will soon become your greatest ally, your instrument of discernment, your altar of communion. Heaven has not forgotten the nights you fought to stay sane, the mornings you rose while feeling empty. Every one of those moments was a page in your preparation. You are the proof that light still wins, even when it flickers. You are the evidence that peace is possible. even for those who once thought they'd never find it again. The battle in your mind is ending, but the ministry it created is just beginning. You will not only walk in peace, you will carry it into the lives of others. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the war that nearly destroyed you became the doorway to your divine purpose. Words are not small things. Chosen one, they are seeds. And every time you speak, you plant something in the soil of your reality. The atmosphere around you is shaped by what leaves your mouth. You have the ability to build worlds or bury them, to summon peace or summon panic. That's why the enemy has been trying to steal your voice, because if he can silence your declarations, he can suffocate your destiny. What you say in your lowest moments holds more power than you realize. Heaven doesn't just listen to prayers spoken on mountaintops, it listens to whispers from the valley. When you speak faith through trembling lips, when you say God is good even as your heart aches, you are waging holy warfare. You are proving that your voice still belongs to heaven. For too long, your words have been used to echo fear. You've said things like, "I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. Nothing ever changes." But every one of those sentences was a seed, and the soil of your life has been faithfully growing what you spoke. Now, heaven is giving you new vocabulary. It's time to speak what you want to see, not what you fear to feel. When you declare peace, the air around you begins to rearrange. When you speak hope, depression begins to lose its grip. When you proclaim faith, angels align themselves with your sound. You were never meant to live in silence. You were meant to speak creation. The wise King Solomon wrote in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those who love it will eat its fruit." Every declaration you make is an act of alignment. You are tuning your inner world to heaven's frequency. The more you speak truth, the more your body, your emotions, and your environment begin to harmonize with divine rhythm. You've seen how words from others could wound you. Now it's time to see how your own words can heal you. Think of your voice as a river. When it flows with gratitude and faith, it nourishes everything around it. But when it's filled with complaints, it floods and erodes your own peace. The solution isn't to stop speaking, it's to redirect the flow. Speak gently to yourself. Speak life over your past, because it can no longer hurt you. Speak healing over your memories, because they can no longer define you. Speak light into your future, because it's already waiting for you to arrive. You are a creator, not a casualty. Heaven entrusted you with speech because it carries the echo of the divine word that spoke galaxies into existence. When you say peace, the same frequency that calmed storms still moves through you. When you say healing, heaven hears and responds. Chosen one, if this message touches you, take it as a gentle reminder that your words carry eternal weight. Every video here, every message you hear, is a mirror reminding you of who you truly are, a vessel of divine sound. If these messages have been watering your faith, like this one, let it be your quiet amen, your agreement with truth. Share it not as promotion, but as participation. Someone you know is fighting the same mental storm, and your simple act of sharing could become their lifeline. And if you feel led to go deeper, to give back to the very stream that pours peace into you, consider sowing into this ministry. Every seed you plant becomes another wave carrying light further. You're not donating to a voice, you're building a bridge for others to cross out of darkness. Your giving is not a transaction, it's a continuation. Every dollar, every prayer, every act of support becomes a stone in the foundation of this movement of peace. When you give, you're saying, let this river keep flowing. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, not out of obligation, but as an act of staying connected to the sound that's shaping your spirit. Because this is not just content, this is communion. Every time you listen, heaven meets you in the space between words. Your voice matters. Chosen one. The world has enough noise. What it needs now is your sound. The sound of faith. The sound of calm authority. The sound of peace spoken with conviction. So speak life again. Speak it over your family, over your fears, over your future. Speak it until your environment starts to echo you. For when heaven hears your voice in alignment with its own, miracles begin to move. You are the echo of creation, the living proof that words still hold power. Use them wisely, and watch as your world transforms one declaration at a time. Transformation never happens in a single moment of inspiration. It unfolds through steady renewal. The mind does not shift by accident. It is trained, rewired, and transformed layer by layer. The battle against worry is not won in a single prayer, but through the continual surrender of thought after thought. Heaven calls this sacred rhythm the renewal sequence, the divine process that turns fear into faith and chaos into clarity. Renewal begins with recognition. You cannot heal what you refuse to confront. For too long, you have believed that to have peace, you must avoid your pain. But avoidance is not peace, it is postponement. Healing begins when you sit with the truth. When you allow the light of God's presence to reveal the clutter within, there, in that honest silence, renewal starts its quiet work. God does not replace your mind, He renews it. Renewal is not erasure, it is transformation. It means taking the same brain that once spiraled into anxiety and retraining it to spiral into worship instead. It means turning the reflex of worry into the reflex of prayer. This is what heaven calls the discipline of mental surrender, a daily practice of exchanging your thoughts for His truth. At first, it feels unnatural. Your old patterns protest, demanding control. You will find yourself tempted to return to familiar anxiety because fear is predictable. And peace sometimes feels foreign. But keep going. Renewal does not happen instantly. It happens incrementally. Every time you resist the urge to overthink, every time you pause to pray instead of panic, you are reprogramming your spiritual reflexes. It is like a sculptor working on stone. At the beginning, the marble looks rough, shapeless, and unpromising. But the sculptor keeps chiseling, patiently removing what doesn't belong. Every strike of the chisel reveals more of the masterpiece within. That is what God is doing with your mind. The moments of discomfort, the days when it feels like progress is slow, those are the chisel strikes of grace. He is carving away fear, insecurity, and doubt until what remains reflects His image. The Apostle Paul revealed this mystery in his letter to the Romans. Chapter 12, verse 2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. You may not realize it, but every surrendered thought builds spiritual muscle. The more you train your mind to rest in God, the faster you recover from anxiety. The storms will still come, but you will notice something has changed. They no longer sweep you away. You might wobble, but you won't fall. You might cry, but you won't collapse, because your roots are now planted in peace. Renewal is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about learning to stay anchored when it isn't. It's about saying, I may not understand this, but I still trust him. It's about replacing the phrase, what if, with even if. What if I fail becomes, even if I fail. God is faithful. What if this storm never ends becomes, even if it lingers. His presence will sustain me. Each time you choose faith over fear, you rewrite the story your thoughts have been telling you. And slowly, that new narrative begins to feel like home. You will begin to notice your mind responding differently to familiar triggers. The things that once provoked panic will now draw prayer. The words that once hurt will now pass through you without cutting as deeply. The same situations that once shook you will now serve as reminders of how far you've come. That is the evidence of renewal, not the absence of storms, but the transformation of your response. Heaven doesn't just want to deliver you from worry, it wants to develop you through it. Because when your mind is renewed, your peace is no longer circumstantial, it becomes character. It becomes something you carry wherever you go. The renewal sequence doesn't end once you feel better. It continues daily through meditation, through gratitude, through intentional stillness. It is the process of keeping your inner temple clean. Every morning you choose peace. Every night you release fear. You are sweeping the floors of your mind, keeping the sanctuary pure. Chosen one. The Lord is teaching you that peace is not the absence of thought, it is the alignment of thought. When your mind agrees with truth, worry has no room to live. And truth is not a concept, it's a person. As your mind grows closer to him, your thoughts begin to speak his language, calm, steady, certain. This is what victory looks like in slow motion. It's not a single shout of triumph, but a daily whisper, I still choose peace. And one day, you'll look back and realize the mind that once waged war against you has become the very place where heaven's voice now dwells. Peace is not a feeling you chase, it is an authority you command. There comes a time when heaven no longer asks you to wait for calm, it calls you to create it. You've spent too long asking God to bring peace into your storm. But now he says, speak peace into it. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are not begging heaven to move, you are moving in sync with heaven. You have prayed for calm, and now God is teaching you to enforce it. Peace is not passive, it is powerful, active, and commanding. The same spirit that hovered over the chaotic waters at creation now hovers in you, waiting for your voice to activate divine order. When you say, peace, return, you are not making a wish, you are issuing a decree. The chaos in your mind has been loud. Yes, but you must remember, silence is not the absence of noise, it is the mastery of it. Every thought that once ruled you must now bow to the peace you command. You are no longer a victim of your emotions, you are their ruler. Heaven has placed authority on your tongue. There are moments when the atmosphere of your thoughts feels too heavy to breathe through. Those are not signs of defeat, they are invitations to exercise dominion. God allows storms not to drown you, but to teach you that peace was within you all along. We are reminded through the words of the Apostle Paul in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 7, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds through Christ Jesus. That peace is not fragile, it is military-grade protection. The word guard means to garrison, to surround with divine strength. The peace of God is not a feeling, it's a fortress. It stands like an army around your mind, rejecting every trespassing thought that tries to enter. Chosen one, you are being trained to command that peace, to call it forth as a soldier calls for reinforcements. When panic attacks, you do not run to hide. You call your peace to the front lines. You say, "Guard me, Lord. Surround my thoughts. Let no lie enter this fortress." And instantly, the presence of God begins to fortify you from within. Your peace is not dependent on perfect circumstances, it's dependent on divine covenant. Even if the world shakes, the peace inside you remains unshaken because it's built on something eternal. This is what it means to live with spiritual authority, to carry calm as your crown. But remember, peace doesn't stay by accident, it stays by intention. You must maintain what you've commanded. Guard your gates, what you watch, what you listen to, what you allow to take root in your spirit. You cannot command peace and feed chaos at the same time. The peace you protect will protect you in return. You may feel resistance at first. The storm might grow louder when you begin to speak against it. That's because darkness panics when you stop agreeing with it. But stand firm. Do not negotiate with anxiety. Do not apologize for your authority. You were designed to rule your inner world, not to be ruled by it. When you say, "Peace, return," heaven responds. Angels move. Atmospheres shift. The storm doesn't always disappear, but it loses its power over you. That's what real deliverance looks like, not the absence of wind, but the presence of unwavering calm. This is your awakening into spiritual maturity. You are no longer waiting for rescue. You are stepping into rulership. You are learning that the same power that calmed the Galilean Sea now lives within your voice. The same breath that raised the dead breathes through your declarations. And when peace fills your mind again, as it surely will remember this, it did not come from outside. It came from within. You summoned it. You activated what heaven had already given. So now, seal this truth with a prophetic act. Comment the number 555 below a symbol of divine grace and spiritual transformation. Let that number be your agreement that peace is no longer a visitor in your life, but a permanent resident. When you type it, do it as worship, not ritual. It's your way of saying, "I accept my authority. I live under divine order." The angels record such declarations. Heaven responds not to noise, but to faith spoken boldly. Every time you write, every time you speak, every time you declare, the unseen world listens and obeys. Chosen one, you are no longer asking for peace. You are walking in it. The same way a king commands his soldiers, you command your atmosphere. The same way a lighthouse stands unshaken in the storm, you stand bright, calm, unmoved. And when fear tries to return, smile gently and say, "Peace has already taken its seat." Because from now on, peace is not something you pursue, it is who you are. There comes a sacred turning point in the life of every chosen one, the moment when peace is no longer a fleeting visitor, but becomes a crown. You begin to realize that all the mental battles, all the sleepless nights, all the prayers whispered through trembling lips were not signs of weakness, but steps toward coronation. Every battle in your mind was a test preparing you for the crown of mental victory. This crown is not made of gold or jewels. It is made of clarity, calm, and conviction. It cannot be seen by human eyes, but heaven recognizes it. It shines in the way you carry yourself, in the quiet confidence that now surrounds your presence. The storm that once terrified you now testifies for you. It announces that you have overcome. You didn't win this crown through strength. You won it through surrender. The moment you stopped fighting to control everything, heaven placed victory upon your head. The moment you said, "Lord, I trust you," the chains around your thoughts began to loosen. What used to feel like confusion now feels like instruction. What used to be fear now becomes discernment. This is the mystery of divine transformation. God never wastes warfare. Every breakdown you thought would destroy you was actually building your endurance. Every unanswered prayer was refining your perspective. The fire that once burned you has now become the light that guides you. That's what the crown represents: authority born from adversity. When you wear this invisible crown, you no longer react to storms the same way. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" That shift is victory. That change in perspective is proof that heaven has restructured your thinking. You've stopped living from your emotions and started living from revelation. We are reminded of this strength in the words of the Apostle Paul, written in the second letter to Timothy. Chapter 4, verse 7, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." And yet, this victory is not loud. It doesn't need to prove itself. It walks softly, like the sunrise that doesn't announce itself but transforms the world with light. The calm that rests on you now is not passivity, it's power under control. The old version of you would have reacted. The new version simply responds with wisdom, with grace, with patience. Heaven is proud of this version of you. The angels who once stood guard through your darkest nights now watch as you stand with unshakable poise. They see that the same mind that once trembled now carries divine insight. You no longer need external validation because your peace itself is your testimony. You'll notice people around you sensing something different. They might say, "You seem so calm lately," or "There's something peaceful about you." What they're noticing isn't personality, it's presence. They're witnessing the radiance of someone who has overcome the war within. Your silence speaks louder than your words now. Your stillness carries a message more powerful than any speech. But understand this: wearing the crown doesn't mean the battles stop. It means you now fight from victory, not for it. Fear may still knock, but it no longer enters. Anxiety may whisper, but you no longer answer. Your authority is not in avoiding warfare, but in ruling through it. This is how you'll live from now on, with a peace that intimidates panic, with a calm that confuses chaos. You've discovered that true strength is not loud, it's quiet, steady, and consistent. The world breaks under pressure, but you bend and return stronger. That's the sign of divine resilience. This crown also comes with responsibility. You are called to guard it, to maintain the mindset that heaven has restored. Don't trade your peace for unnecessary battles. Don't lend your attention to meaningless noise. Protect your clarity like treasure, for it was bought through struggle and prayer. When you rise in the morning, know this: you wear unseen royalty. The same peace that Christ carried through Gethsemane now rests upon you. You may not feel majestic, but in the Spirit, You shine brighter than gold. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, every time you stay calm instead of reacting, heaven sees that crown glisten. This is your proof, not that the storm ended, but that you outlasted it. The noise tried to shake you, but you remained standing. The darkness tried to silence you, but your light grew louder. You are the evidence that victory in the mind is possible. You are living proof that the power of peace is greater than the weight of worry. Chosen one, walk with your head lifted. You have fought well. You have finished a chapter few survive. And now, every thought that once haunted you becomes another jewel in your crown. You are crowned not because the battle is over, but because you have learned to remain peaceful in the midst of it. Your mind is no longer your enemy. It has become your throne. You have learned to command peace, to walk with calm, to wear your invisible crown. Yet heaven now reveals a deeper truth. Victory must be guarded. Peace, once received, must be protected with the same passion it took to find it. For the mind that has been renewed will always attract tests to prove its strength. The enemy no longer attacks you through chaos. He tries to infiltrate through distraction. That is why you must learn the art of protecting the mind gate. Your mind is a temple. Chosen one, a sanctuary built for divine presence. Every thought that enters it is either a visitor or an intruder. You cannot control who knocks, but you can decide who stays. Guarding your thoughts is not paranoia, it is priesthood. Just as ancient priests guarded the temple from impurity, you must now guard your mental temple from contamination. The world will try to enter through your senses. What you watch, what you listen to, what you repeat, all of it carries spiritual residue. Some words cleanse you, others corrode you. Some voices lift your faith, others plant quiet seeds of fear. The mind gate is sensitive, and whatever passes through it eventually becomes part of your belief system. That is why discernment is not optional, it is essential. Heaven does not command you to suppress your mind, it calls you to steward it. A healthy spiritual mind is not empty, it is guarded. It is full of truth, but free from clutter. And this discipline requires constant awareness, not fear, but focus. You must stay alert, not just to what attacks you, but to what subtly drains you. We are reminded through the ancient wisdom written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That scripture is not merely poetic, it is prophetic. The word heart in the ancient texts also means mind, will, and inner being. It is the control center of your life. What enters there determines your decisions, your emotions, your destiny. To guard your heart, therefore, is to guard your world. You can tell what has entered your mind by what leaves your mouth. When fear begins to dominate your speech, it means fear has slipped past your gate. When bitterness becomes your tone, it means resentment found its way in. That is why the Spirit continually invites you to return to watchfulness, not anxiety, but awareness. Guarding your mind doesn't mean building walls of isolation, it means constructing boundaries of discernment. You can still love people deeply while refusing to absorb their chaos. You can still walk in compassion without carrying every burden you encounter. Emotional maturity means learning to care without collapsing. It is the ability to stay open-hearted and clear-minded at the same time. Your peace is too precious to be handed to everything that demands it. Protect your mornings, they set the rhythm for your mind. protect your nights, they shape your dreams. Don't allow social noise to dictate your stillness. The world trains people to start their day with comparison and end it with exhaustion. But heaven teaches the opposite: begin with worship, end with gratitude. These two gates, dawn and dusk, are where the mind is most vulnerable and most powerful. Sometimes, protection means silence. You do not owe everyone an explanation. Not every opinion deserves a response. There is strength in restraint. Even Jesus, when falsely accused, answered with silence, not out of weakness, but authority. He knew the power of conserving energy for divine purpose rather than wasting it on empty debate. Chosen one, when you protect your peace, you protect your purpose. When you guard your thoughts, you guard your destiny. The enemy cannot steal what he cannot access. He studies your gates, testing where you leave them unguarded. But now that you are aware, you can strengthen every entry point through prayer, worship, and the Word. When your mind begins to wander into worry, gently pull it back with truth. When fear tries to creep in, drown it out with worship. When the noise of the world grows loud, retreat into quiet communion. You do not fight for peace by force, you sustain it by consistency. This is the secret of spiritual maturity, learning to live in constant peace. Not because the world is safe, but because your boundaries are strong. The same way a city thrives when its gates are secure. Your soul flourishes when your mind is guarded. And one day, without realizing it, you'll notice that what used to drain you no longer touches you. What once entered easily now finds no opening. That is the fruit of discipline, the reward of guarding the mind gate. You will walk through noise and remain untouched. You will hear chaos and stay centered. Because your peace is not fragile anymore, it is fortified. You have built walls of wisdom, and heaven itself watches over your gates. Endurance, that quiet, holy word that heaven treasures. It is not glamorous, not dramatic, but it is the proof of maturity. When all emotions fade, when excitement disappears, endurance is what remains. It is the sacred strength to keep walking even when the light seems dim. Heaven calls it faith with stamina. You have felt the weight of waiting, haven't you? Those long stretches of silence when prayers seem unanswered and progress feels invisible. Yet, it is in those silent seasons that heaven forges unbreakable spirits. God is not delaying you, He is developing you. He is building a kind of peace that doesn't need constant reassurance. A kind of faith that stands even when the wind howls. Endurance is not about running fast, it's about refusing to quit. It's like a candle that doesn't stop burning even when the air grows thin. Every flicker of faith in you, every breath of trust you still offer, even after disappointment, that is endurance in motion. You see, endurance is the rhythm of eternity. The stars endure, the oceans endure, even the heart that beats inside your chest endures, pulsing in quiet obedience to life. Heaven designed you the same way, steady, consistent, unstoppable. But there's a mystery about endurance that few understand. It doesn't look strong at first. It often looks like tears. It sounds like sighs. It feels like barely holding on. Yet every time you whisper, "I will not give up," the heavens record it as thunder. The quietest act of perseverance on earth becomes a roar in the spiritual realm. We hear this truth echoing in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13. He who endures to the end shall be saved. That promise is not poetic, it is prophetic. Endurance is not a test of strength, it is a doorway to salvation. The word saved in its fullness means preserved, completed, made whole. God is not only saving your soul, He is preserving your mind, your purpose, your destiny. And that is why the world needs your endurance. People around you are watching, some in silence, some in curiosity. They see that you don't crumble like you used to. They see that your peace stays even when plans fall apart. Your endurance is preaching louder than any sermon. It tells the world God is real. Hope still holds. Chosen one. This message flows not just to you, but through you. Every word here is a river meant to refresh others who are weary like you once were. If these words have strengthened your spirit, take a moment to acknowledge it. Like this message, not as ritual, but as recognition. It's your way of saying, I receive this truth. Share it not out of obligation, but because someone else needs the reminder that faith still stands after the storm. And if this voice has become a source of peace in your nights and courage in your mornings, stay close. Subscribe so the flow continues to meet you right where you are. This isn't about algorithms, it's about alignment. Every time you connect, you keep yourself near the sound of stillness that heaven keeps pouring through this space. Now, let's speak of something sacred: giving. Not every offering is about money. Sometimes it's about partnership. When you sow into a well that refreshes you, you ensure that the water keeps flowing for others. If these messages have watered your faith, consider planting a seed back into the soil that grew them. Donate as an act of gratitude, not duty. Every seed extends the reach of peace to the anxious, the lonely, the broken who scroll through chaos, hoping to stumble upon light. Your act of generosity is more than support, it is participation. You become part of heaven's echo, ensuring that this river of words keeps reaching those who need it most. Every offering turns into oil that keeps the lamp burning. And when you give, heaven multiplies peace back into your own life in ways unseen. And before you move on, pause for a moment. Reflect on what endurance has built inside you. Then, go ahead and comment below. Share what this word stirred in you. Your comment might be the confirmation someone else has been praying for. When one voice speaks faith, it gives courage to another to keep believing. Because that's how endurance works, it's contagious. When one light keeps burning, others remember they can too. So keep shining, keep standing, keep trusting. You are not just surviving this season, you are setting the tone for the next one. You are the proof that peace lasts, that faith endures, that love never quits. And as you rest tonight, know this heaven is proud of your perseverance. The world may not see your quiet endurance, but the throne of God celebrates it. For endurance is worship in motion, and you have become its living song. There is a moment in every warrior's journey when the battle changes form. It moves from the external to the internal, from visible confrontation to invisible command. You, chosen one, have reached that moment. The storms no longer shake you because you've learned peace. Now, heaven expands your assignment. You are being clothed in something greater, the mantle of mental authority. A mantle is more than a covering, it is a divine transfer of responsibility. It signifies that what once ruled you must now bow to you. Heaven is placing upon your spirit the same authority that once quieted your own chaos, so that you may now quiet the chaos in others. You have not endured these inner battles in vain. They were training for leadership in the unseen realm. God allows certain minds to walk through warfare so they can understand how to heal others. You cannot lead people out of storms you've never faced. You cannot minister peace unless you've wrestled with restlessness. And now, having conquered the battlefield of your own thoughts, you have been entrusted with authority over the mental storms of others. This mantle is both weight and gift. It requires humility. For authority without compassion becomes control. You are called not to dominate, but to deliver, to speak peace, not as opinion, but as revelation. Every word that leaves your lips from this day forward carries spiritual voltage. Heaven backs your declarations because you speak from scars, not theory. The prophet Luke recorded the words of Jesus that reveal the essence of such authority. We read in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19, "I give you power to tread on serpents and scorpions. Over all the enemy's power, nothing harms you." That power, that divine license, is not symbolic. It is literal. It means you are no longer subject to the lies that once ruled you. It means you can now dismantle fear wherever you find it. The serpents represent deceptive thoughts, the scorpions, poisonous words, and you, chosen one, are now given the power to crush both in your life and in the lives of those around you. When people come near you, their anxiety will begin to unravel. When they speak with you, their confusion will start to settle. You may not even say much, your presence will do the work. That's what a mantle does. It's not merely worn, it radiates. But with great authority comes great responsibility. You must remain aligned with the source of your power. A mantle detached from its giver becomes a costume. You are not to rely on your experience, but on the spirit that empowered it. Keep humility as your foundation, for pride is the quickest thief of divine authority. Remember, this authority is not for self-exaltation but for service. You were healed so you could heal. You were freed so you could free others. The peace you carry is meant to be contagious. The wisdom you've gained through struggle is a map for those still lost in mental battlefields. You are now both survivor and shepherd. Do not fear the weight of this calling. Heaven never gives authority without also giving grace to sustain it. You will find that the same God who steadied your mind in private will strengthen your voice in public. You won't have to force influence, it will flow naturally. Your words will carry weight, not because you shout, but because you've lived them. The mantle of mental authority makes you a thermostat, not a thermometer. You no longer reflect the temperature of your environment, you set it. Where others see confusion, you will see opportunity. Where others feel fear, you will sense strategy. You are being trained to discern atmospheres, to identify the unspoken, to minister not just through speech but through spiritual stability. And when you begin to walk in this new level of authority, remember that every act of compassion amplifies your power. Every time you listen without judgment, you wield healing. Every time you forgive, you extend dominion. Authority grows through gentleness, not arrogance. You are not merely a receiver of peace, you are now a distributor of it. You are the calm in the crowd, the light in the noise, the voice that steadies trembling hearts. Your life will become a quiet sanctuary for many who cannot yet find their own. Chosen one, you wear your mantle well. It glows not with pride, but with purpose. The same mind once fractured by worry is now crowned with wisdom. You are the living testimony that the battlefield of the mind can become the birthplace of miracles. So walk with confidence, yet with tenderness. Speak boldly, yet softly. Carry peace like a torch through the darkness, knowing that wherever your feet tread, authority follows. For heaven has clothed you, not just to be healed, but to heal. And now, chosen one, we arrive at the stillness after the storm, the sacred quiet that follows victory. The battlefield of your mind lies silent, no longer echoing with conflict, no longer cluttered with fear. The war is over, and heaven crowns you with something greater than triumph, divine rest. This is not mere relief, it is restoration. It is the deep peace that seeps into every cell, every thought, every heartbeat. Divine rest is not sleep, though it may bring better sleep. It is not escape, though it frees you from what once chased you. Divine rest is the state of being where your soul finally exhales. It is the realization that you no longer need to prove, to strive, to fight for belonging. You belong already to peace, to purpose, to God. There was a time when even the quiet frightened you. Silence made your thoughts louder. You filled your days with motion, afraid that stillness would expose how exhausted your spirit truly was. But now, after all you have walked through, the quiet feels different. It no longer threatens you, it welcomes you. The same silence that once echoed with anxiety now hums with serenity. You have entered the kind of peace that no storm can steal. Rest is the final proof of trust. Anyone can pray in panic, but only those who truly trust can rest after the prayer. You have learned to let go, to allow God to handle what your mind cannot. You have discovered the truth that rest is not inactivity, it is alignment. It means that every part of you finally agrees with heaven. It is finished. The weight you used to carry in your chest is gone because you've realized you were never meant to carry it alone. Every worry, every regret, every what if has been placed at the feet of the one who governs galaxies. And now, your spirit stands lighter, your thoughts clearer, your steps steadier. We are reminded of the gentle invitation of Christ written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. You have come, you have labored, you have carried burdens that others never saw. But here, at the end of your inner battle, that promise becomes real. The rest Jesus gives is not a pause between storms, it is peace in the midst of them. It is the confidence that whatever comes next, you are safe in His rhythm. Divine rest changes how you live. You no longer rush decisions, you wait for clarity. You no longer chase approval, you move from assurance. You stop fearing time because you understand that heaven is never late. Rest teaches you timing, when to speak, when to move, when to simply be. This rest is also revelation. In the stillness, you begin to hear what noise once drowned out. You start to sense divine direction, subtle nudges, gentle whispers of new assignments. Rest doesn't end your purpose, it redefines it. You work now from peace, not toward it. The striving that once fueled you has turned into flow. Even your body begins to reflect this inner peace. Your breath slows, your shoulders drop, your eyes soften. The tension that used to live in your muscles releases its grip. Heaven's peace doesn't only heal the mind, It teaches the body how to feel safe again. You are learning to live from rest, not exhaustion, disguised as productivity, but quiet confidence disguised as grace. The rest God gives is layered. First comes mental rest, freedom from the noise of overthinking. Then emotional rest, the release of heaviness carried too long. And finally, spiritual rest, the knowing that you are held, even when unseen hands guide your steps. You have entered that third layer now. You might still face moments of uncertainty, but they no longer shake you. You might still encounter challenges, but they no longer define you. You have learned to breathe through the unknown. You have become the calm in the chaos, the lighthouse in your own storm. That is what divine rest looks like, not perfection, but peace that persists. In this stillness, heaven whispers of the next chapter, one not written in striving, but in surrender. You will move forward, yes, but from a place of rest, not restlessness. You will lead, but not from exhaustion, from overflow. You will give, but not out of depletion, out of abundance, because divine rest is not the end of movement, it is the beginning of meaningful motion. Chosen one, the journey through the mind's battlefield has brought you here to the calm after victory. The noise has quieted, the light has returned, and peace now sits upon you like a crown. You have discovered that the greatest warfare is won not through effort, but through trust. And the truest strength is found not in striving, but in surrender. So breathe deeply now. Feel the air fill your lungs as heaven breathes with you. You are not fighting anymore. You are flourishing. You are not searching for peace. You are peace. The war in your mind has ended. And rest, beautiful. Divine rest reigns forevermore. Chosen one, take a breath. You have journeyed through the war and walked into peace. Heaven has watched as you faced what others could not see, the storms within, the sleepless nights, the questions that never found words. And yet, you stand here, crowned with clarity and wrapped in rest. You are not who you were when this began. You are stronger, softer, steadier, transformed from within. This message has not just spoken to you, it has been speaking through you. The same peace that healed your mind now radiates through your words, your silence, your presence. You are the evidence that light still wins, that faith still holds, that calm is possible in a world addicted to noise. If these words have touched something deep in you, don't let the moment fade into silence. Take a moment, share your reflection in the comments below. What truth settled in your spirit tonight? Your comment may be the confirmation another weary soul has been praying for. And if this space has become your quiet corner of peace, stay connected. Like this message, not for the numbers, but as an act of agreement, a quiet amen that says, I receive this peace. Share it with someone who might be fighting their own hidden battle. You never know whose darkness will be lifted by your simple act of light. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. This isn't about following a voice, it's about walking together through the sound of truth that continues to flow from heaven. Let every word that comes after this be a reminder you are chosen. You are steady. And your story is not ending, it's unfolding in peace. Rest now, crowned one. You've won the war within,